Well, what if I told you that the Walt Disney Company is getting rather desperate when it comes to their summer box office and specifically The Little Mermaid? Ha! That would probably not shock you too much, would it? What if I told you that the media is covering this particular issue we're going to discuss today in the complete opposite way? Well, that also probably wouldn't shock you. But get ready, folks, because I'm going to show you how Hollywood works at a high resolution that you're unlikely to get anywhere else. Let's dive into The Little Mermaid and what's going on with a huge racial bomb. And we're here, ladies and gentlemen, each and every day to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. And that curve is underwater today with Ariel, the Little Mermaid. Disney freaking out a little bit and making some big moves, trying to hide some stuff that's going on. I know that you love that kind of content. I love delivering it to you. If you think that others might like this kind of content, well, consider clicking the like button. It helps spread it around. Share, subscribe. And you know what? That notification bell, when you click it, you stick it to the algorithm. So try that out. All right, diving straight in, we go to Variety. This by Zach Sharf. I want to set the stage for you a little bit. Disney has been changing their operandi when it comes to how to market this film. You may recall that for months and months, the Walt Disney Company was, shall we say, making this movie all about a particular issue, a divisive issue, if you will, and we had numbers of articles, scores of articles, all coming out to tell us how bad society is and how those rubes out there who didn't want to see a race-swapped mermaid, that they were just evil and disgusting individuals. We had articles telling us about how the new mermaid, that she was finally creating a hero that others could connect with. Now, that type of marketing has all ended. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to tell you good or bad of what it is when a central character, when a mermaid's ethnic background is swapped. I don't care. I'm just here to tell you what's going on with Disney. And, well, we should all care about that because it tells us what's really going on in Hollywood. Let's take a look at how the marketing is going now. When Ariel met Ariel, Halle Bailey got Jodie Benson's stamp of approval on Little Mermaid set and was told to just go for it. May 12th. Why is that there? That's there to try to convince people who are fans of the original that this is good to go see. The original Ariel, she likes it. The article goes on to say Halle Bailey revealed in a new interview with the Los Angeles Times that original Princess Ariel voice actor Jodie Benson has a cameo appearance in Disney's live-action The Little Mermaid remake. Benson appears in a scene set on land, so alas, she's not back as a mermaid. However, the cameo meant the two Ariel actors got a chance to meet on the set of the live-action movie. Bailey said she was grateful to have Benson's blessing. What a change! What a total change! She told me how proud she was of me and how I'm handling everything and encouraged me to just go for it, Bailey said of Benson. I appreciate her for being so warm and welcoming to me because she's the greatest of all time, and it was important to me to get her stamp of approval. Oh my gosh, I can't believe the shift in tone. And ladies and gentlemen, you'd better believe there's a reason for the shift in tone. Benson, meanwhile, took to Instagram last September to call Bailey absolutely amazing after the first footage from the live-action The Little Mermaid screened at Disney's D23 convention. That footage included a first listen of Bailey's rendition of Part of Your World, which Benson made famous in the 1989 animated movie. Thank you so much, Jodie Benson, Bailey wrote back at the time. This means the world to me coming from you. You made Ariel magical for us. So there you go. We're trying to play nice again, right? No longer this divisive thing. For months and months, the original mermaid, the original Ariel, the original movie was problematic. Now the original actress is the greatest of all time. Interesting. Let's go to another source here. Global Village Space, another front. Same kind of idea. We're trying to make amends. Little Mermaid composer Alan Menken on Missing Song in live-action remake. The Alan Menken, the extraordinarily famous composer who was part of the Renaissance era. The composer of Little Mermaid has explained why the song Daughters of Triton was not included in the live-action version of the film. In an interview with comicbook.com, he said that the team behind the forthcoming feature decided to omit the song in order to create more of a build-up to Ariel's performance of Part of Your World, which is considered to be one of the original film's signature songs. Menken said that the team wanted to start the film with a more live-action feel of the ocean, meeting Ariel, and then build anticipation for part of your world. And what is this all about? Well, this is all about them trying to smooth over some of the criticisms that are already coming in about the movie. It's missing songs, yet it is hugely bloated. It's way longer than the original film. They need to get around that narrative. So what do? You have Alan Menken come out and start explaining some of this stuff, making it very positive. Why is a song missing from this much longer movie when surely it had time to include it? Well, because they wanted to build up the anticipation even more, and it's just so wonderful and amazing. And all of this was going swimmingly, pun intended. It was going swimmingly. The marketing had been much better. Folks, you may notice, it's hard to not notice at this point, that the controversial stuff about this movie, they're no longer talking about it. They haven't been talking about it for months. And from my purview, then that's great, because this movie should have made $1 billion easy. All they had to do was shut up about divisive stuff. Just make the movie. We have had in the past Brandy play Cinderella, she being of African descent. Nobody cared. Nobody cared that that happened. Fine, We had Ali Ikravallo, who is the voice of Moana. She is Polynesian and Puerto Rican of descent. She played Ariel in a live stage show for ABC all over the world. Nobody cared. Nobody cares about this stuff, except that they made it an issue. They had to keep bringing it up and being divisive. We could go back through the comments, but we don't have time in this video today. Everybody can go find those. But for the last few months, they've decided that it's time to stop Kenobiing this movie. You may recall that in Kenobi, how in the world that got turned into a racial kind of thing. But yeah, for months and months, they made that into an issue and said horrible things about the fans. Well, that's where this was going. But why did it stop? Well, it stopped because Disney needs $1 billion. We're about to talk about a big issue, though, that Disney's facing with this movie. Huge issue.
Floral, it's time for you to walk the plank.
What? Why?
Cuz you haven't subscribed to WDW Pro yet. Nor bookmark thatparkplace.com on your web browser to get great articles from great contributors.
What?
But before we do, I want to say this. Disney needs a movie to hit $1 billion this summer. They need it. Seriously. Their third-party partners are beginning to view Disney, and the market in general is beginning to view Disney as a brand that is on the decline, a brand that is diminishing in power. And why would they not? It's what is happening to this brand. And $1 billion movie, though, that would kind of reset expectations and indicate that this was a blip on the radar. We take a look at this article from The Hollywood Reporter by George Salai. Disney analyst downgrades stock due to risky streaming sub-forecast, deteriorating linear TV. Wolf's Peter Supino moves from an outperform to a peer perform rating, citing cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, folks. Do you know what that means? Cognitive dissonance is when you are not thinking clearly. Apparently, that's what they're saying about this company, that Disney is not thinking clearly. The theme park's growth, cost cuts, and direct-to-consumer average revenue per user growth we forecast are in consensus, while the DTC subscriber and linear TV outlooks keep deteriorating. This analyst argued in a Friday report. DTC plan for more subs, higher prices, and lower costs seem like cognitive dissonance. In other words, not thinking clearly. And guess what else? Not listed in this is the box office is majorly down. And when your stock is being downgraded according to analysts, well, people start to get a little fidgety, and people are wanting $1 billion movie. Disney needs one. Can they get one out of Guardians? Unlikely. Can they get one out of Indiana Jones? Unlikely. Can they get one out of Elemental? Unlikely. The Little Mermaid is their best shot at it, and they need it badly. What happens when a company begins to lose the trust of the people who invest in them? Well, we start seeing stuff like this out of Deadline. This by Jill Goldsmith and Dominic Patton. Disney ex-CEO Bob Chapek, CFO, hit with shareholder suit over streaming losses. Now, don't worry too much about Chapek. He's still enjoying the island life somewhere. This is just sort of a grab-all suit hit against the entire company, and we'll see where it goes. But it says a shareholder is suing the former CEO along with former executive Kareem Daniel, current CFO Christine McCarthy, and the company itself, alleging violations of securities laws for misleading statements about Disney Plus and the health of the streaming business. Why is that being filed? Well, it's being filed because turns out Disney Plus lost millions of subscribers in the last quarter, and people are angry because it's dropping the value of their stocks. They're angry about it. Now, do I think this will go anywhere? Who knows? But you don't have to worry about Chapek. He's gone from the company, and he's covered by the company and the apparatus. We'll see what happens. No prognosis here on how this will play out. But I want to now, that we've laid all the context out for you, it's time to get into the meat of this video. They have tried to shift the marketing for Ariel. They have done everything in their power to start building a positive narrative. It's as if an entirely different marketing team has taken over behind the scenes at Disney. Now, do I think that the company has shifted its strategy in total? No, I do not. And we will have an expose tomorrow morning if you are watching this on the 16th. So on the 17th, our morning video, we will have a full-on expose that you are not going to want to miss, in which we will chat about a huge movement by the Walt Disney Company to quadruple down on this push into divisive content. Quadruple down into it. You are not going to want to miss that. So do I buy that this shift in strategy for The Little Mermaid is company-wide? No, clearly not. But let me show you what is happening as the company scrambles to try to get this movie to the $1 billion mark. This out of People. This has been going on for a while. Others have been covering it. I am going to cover it in a different way because I have a trusted source who has reached out to me to tell me what's really going on. As I talk about this, please remember that when this comes from a trusted source, I cannot verify it. All I ask is that you go look at my track record by clicking on the playlist that I have, Leaks and Rumors, see how I'm doing so far. That's all we've got, but I cannot verify this independently. This comes from a source. Before we talk about what that source has said, here's the article. Out of People, yet again, Benjamin Van Hoos, love that last name. Aladdin actor Mena Massoud deletes his Twitter after backlash over Little Mermaid comments. The actor tweeted that he doesn't think The Little Mermaid will make $1 billion at the global box office like his 2019 Aladdin film did. Well, he's right. But maybe he shouldn't have said it, or maybe he should have. Oh, this gets more twisted and convoluted than the media would tell you. Hang tight. Mena Massoud deleted his Twitter profile after facing backlash over his comments comparing his 2019 live-action Disney movie, Aladdin, to the new Little Mermaid film. On Saturday, the actor, 31, responded to a tweet that shared box office projections for the upcoming Little Mermaid movie, which debuts in theaters May 26th, and contrasted the numbers with Aladdin's opening weekend 4 years ago. And by the way, it's even more than that because the actual industry insiders know that due to the inflation of movie tickets, that this Little Mermaid, if it just had the same number of audience members, would beat Aladdin by 30%. Hint, it won't. Aladdin, which also starred Will Smith and Naomi Scott, went on to earn more than $1 billion worldwide. The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Alice in Wonderland, they also made it to $1 billion. And they did it on far diminished movie ticket prices because movie ticket prices have increased even higher than the normal rate of inflation, which is already historic. Massoud tweeted, "Our film was unique in that audiences went to watch it multiple times. It's the only way we reached the $1 billion mark with our opening. My guess is The Little Mermaid doesn't cross the $1 billion mark, but will undoubtedly get a sequel." Ooh, the burn, the burn. Some Twitter users quickly responded to Massoud's comments, defending Little Mermaid, which has faced backlash over Halle Bailey's casting as the lead. He has since deactivated his account. "And what exactly did you gain from commenting this?" tweeted one person. Another wrote, "I'm honestly still confused as to why Mena Massoud tweeted this in the first place. Did he want to start a fight?" wrote one person. Another one said, "I don't understand why he felt the need to put down Little Mermaid when Black Twitter showed up for him after he cried about being unemployed even after he did Aladdin." Well, let me just say this, everybody. This guy was done extremely dirty. I mean extremely dirty, and that's what the People magazine goes on to talk about. It says, "I'm kind of tired of staying quiet about it." This is a quote from him from earlier. "I want people to know that it's not always dandelions and roses when you're doing something like Aladdin. He must have made millions. He must be getting all these offers. It's none of these things. I haven't had a single audition since Aladdin came out." Here's what's going on, everybody. This gentleman, picked to play the role of Aladdin, has been the victim of tokenization. Truly. He's picked up to do a movie. He comes in for Disney, does the movie. The movie makes $1 billion. He should therefore be one of the hottest actors in Hollywood. And guess what? Nobody wants to even audition the man who is the protagonist in $1 billion movie. For almost any other person of any other ethnicity, perhaps this would have been the launching pad. And yet the Walt Disney Company has left him out to dry. They used him to brownwash their film, and then they want him for nothing else. That's the real story here. That's the real story. And then he is striking out at Disney again because of the way that he's been treated. Now, let me ask you this. Why would they not treat Halle Bailey in the exact same way? Use this person for this reason and then no longer support them. Well, here's what I'm being told by the source. The way that this is presented in this article and across the web, and for the last 48 hours it has been presented in the same manner, is that this gentleman faced backlash like you wouldn't believe. He was told what's what. He was told what's right. And that he, therefore, deleted his social media out of fear, out of shame, out of embarrassment. He tucked tail and ran. But I'm being told that's not what happened. You see, according to a source I have, what actually may have occurred here, again, I cannot verify this, but what may have actually occurred is that perhaps Disney has reached out to him and suggested, in order to stop this blowback, because what Disney doesn't want, what they don't want, as they chase that $1 billion movie to stabilize their company and prove that they are okay at the box office. They're not damaged. That Disney may have reached out to him to prevent fighting amongst different minority groups, also known as Muslims or individuals of a background similar to this man, right? He's Egyptian. He's Canadian as well, but primarily that's why they hired him, is he's of Egyptian descent. But all of these people from the Middle East, Disney doesn't want them fighting with people who identify as Black or African American or whatever you might have. And that's where this was going. So what the source says is that perhaps, let me put that in there carefully, perhaps Disney has reached out to him and said, listen, if you will wipe out all of this, and by the way, that would probably mean wiping out the account so that there's no chance of going back in time and pulling stuff. If you'll do that, we'll take care of you. Now, I'm just here to tell you that that's what I'm being told. Don't know it for sure, but it makes a lot of sense. We really think this guy who's been saying this for months and months and months, suddenly he got cold feet about telling what he perceives to be the truth. That is that he led $1 billion movie and nobody wants him. Disney won't hire him, won't even give him a second look. We really think that suddenly that message was just too scary for him to continue telling? No, I don't believe that. I believe what this source is telling me, that Disney perhaps reached out, made an offer to this guy. And so don't be surprised if a year from now, 18 months from now, this guy is working for Disney, doing something, and we'll have the PR process of smoothing it all out. Disney will come out and say, we've ironed out those differences and blah, 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 whatever it is. He'll have to come out and say that he really enjoyed The Little Mermaid and it was just a minor misunderstanding. The media blew it all up out of proportion. They'll do something to smooth it out as he gets another role. And all of that because Disney is trying their darndest to avoid controversy now, because controversy no longer helps. It's not that they don't believe it anymore. It's just that they need that $1 billion movie badly. Now, earlier today, Amelia Iglesias, writer for That Park Place, put out this article that I love it, explaining Disney's DEI initiatives, individualism versus intersectionality. And I want to scroll down to a particular point here because I think this is what's going on. Folks, it is not that Disney, it's not that they're fighting against non-inclusion, also known as exclusion. It's not that on one side of the aisle, people want to toss others out of Hollywood or out of the industry, and that on the other side, people want to include everyone and love them. No, that's not what any of this is about. And if I just present it to you that way, then all that does is lead to further misunderstanding. So I want to just do 3 paragraphs from this article, again from thatparkplace.com, where I also write and edit. But this just explains what's going on at Disney and what's going on with the mermaid and what's going on with all of this to such a great extent, you got to hear it. It says the real issue is the outright diminishment of individualism. And yes, I think so as well. It's the merging of these people groups so that if you are an individual from a group out there, some ethnic group or gender group or whatever it may be, that companies now treat you as if everybody in your group is sort of a homogenous blob and there's no individualism remaining in it. But let's take a look at what this says. The problem with companies like Disney is that they have gone all in on an idea of intersectionality, tribalism, and group modeling to the point that they've lost sight of individualism and free agency. It's a clear result of diving fully into the opposing viewpoint of humanity. It says, let's take a look at how they're different. Intersectionality, that's what we were trying for months with the marketing of Little Mermaid. It was all about intersectionality. Intersectionality recognized that individuals have multiple intersecting social identities that can intersect and interact to shape their experiences and identities. It emphasizes that individuals may face unique challenges and forms of discrimination that result from the intersection of these identities. Intersectionality promotes inclusivity and seeks to address the interconnected nature of social inequalities. Individualism, though, is what Disney has ceased taking hold of. Individualism, on the other hand, replaces emphasis on the autonomy, independence, and uniqueness of the individual. It upholds the value of personal freedom, self-determination, and the pursuit of individual goals and interests. Individualism tends to prioritize the individual's choices, rights, and aspirations over collective or systemic concerns. And here's what's been happening. They have been promoting intersectionality nonstop over individualism. And thus, the individual is crushed. This is happening inside their company and outside their company. And so, Ms. Iglesias has listed out some things that could be done to move Disney in a positive direction. None of these are occurring. And when we come out with the video in the morning, I think you'll see just how bad things are about to become at Disney. They are moving towards the iceberg at ever-increasing speeds. They are not attempting to avoid it. Remember the cognitive dissonance that now analysts are saying the company has? But here are some suggestions that Ms. Iglesias had. Embrace complexity. Recognize that individuals are multifaceted and have a range of intersecting identities. Avoid oversimplifying or reducing someone's identity solely to their membership in certain social groups. Allow individuals to express their unique to them perspectives, experiences, aspirations. Respect autonomy, right? Because people are autonomous. Foster inclusion and empowerment. Because once you let people be themselves as individuals, then you can include them and empower them as individuals. And then finally, intersectionality and individuality can be complementary. And that's exactly right. I'm not here to promote intersectionality. In fact, I think individuality takes precedent. I think it's the more important thing. But nobody wants to say to you, hey, for example, you come from a Colombian background. That has no impact on you. You're just an individual flat out. Well, that's not true. If you come from Colombia, then you were exposed from an early age to the culture and variety and spice of Colombia. And surely that has shaped you to some degree. But you're also an individual. You're also vastly more complex than just where you have been and what you've come through. You are you, and that's a fantastic thing to be. And I think that's why people have been turning away from Disney. I think that's what they realize with Little Mermaid. I think they realize that they've got a major problem of just putting people into a box. And that's why we're getting this now. That's why we're getting hugs all around, right? That's why we're getting Kumbaya. Halle Bailey and Jodie Benson. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, she's the greatest of all time. That's why we're getting this. Because they need to make peace. But in my estimation, they don't need to make peace because they've learned their lesson. They don't need to make peace because they believe in it. They need to make peace because their stock's down. They don't have a movie that's going to make $1 billion, and that's what their partners are watching. And they want that billion badly. And they'll put on this mask for a while. But as I said before, tomorrow morning we're exposing them dramatically. You are not going to want to miss it. And I hope you're glad that you watched this video. I hope that you think that this was a could not miss exposition on what's going on behind the scenes, as well as the rumor/leak that we've got from the source. Again, we cannot independently verify that, but it seems to add up. We will definitely be watching to see if the Aladdin actor now gets opportunities once his Twitter account is gone. It's a major pain for Disney. No more. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and that notification bell. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. I covet your comments. This is not just me out here talking to you, but rather I would love to hear what you have to think. So please drop a comment down below. I read them, I respond. And folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Make sure to catch The Pro Show Thursdays 5 to 7 Eastern Time. Entertainment Explained, The Culture Curve Conquered, live with Pro and all his friends.